getsu.
No, I didn't do this like all of a sudden. I told my friends and posted on my Snapchat story the day before that I would delete all my social media for a week. And of course, a lot of people asked me, well, why? So here's the backstory. On Thursday of that week, I was having a tough day, and I was so stressed, especially after finishing all my online classes and classwork for the day. A close friend that I haven't talked to in a long time randomly texted me and gave me advice, even though it showed no sign that I needed the help. But he literally made me sob and instantly feel better after that conversation. But I still felt terrible, and I didn't want to feel that lost again, so I deleted all social media that Thursday afternoon. But Friday morning when I woke up, I was like, nah, I gotta entertain myself. I was not prepared for this. But I still wanted to go through with this plan to see how I would do without social media, especially during quarantine. So Saturday morning, I deleted Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, and GroupMe, and didn't upload any videos during this 1 week, but I kept iMessage because, well, Apple doesn't let you delete it. So I still had a way to contact close friends and emergency contacts. For the longest time, I kept telling my brother that I'd pay him $20 if he would delete Snapchat or any social media for a week or even a day, which he never did. But I realized I needed to listen to myself because I had been downloading crap and talking to random people all of a sudden, and I've been addicted to the action of constantly trying to talk, even if it led nowhere. So now that most of us are in quarantine, many of us feel bored, lonely, and out of touch with people, especially with our friends. But I overcompensated by doing meaningless and temporary things that just wasted my time and made me feel actually more out of touch with the world and myself. So one problem, I forgot to delete Facebook Messenger on my iPad, so when I saw one of my friend's messages, I really wanted to reply right away, but I decided to say, you know what, it's okay. I knew it was not anything urgent. Not saying it's cool to ignore people though. I hate having the one symbol or notifications left on my phone, so I usually quickly reply. But this was ultimately harmful for me, as conversations would continue, no matter how useless they would seem, ultimately just taking up much of my time. When I'm stressed, I usually don't know why I am, and that's probably the most of us. A lot of us use social media to be entertained, but we ultimately get distracted, so we don't focus on the current situations or problems in our personal lives, creating more problems for ourselves. So when I first started this challenge, I thought that I would have a hard time and be stuck and unproductive, which I kind of was for the first few days. It's currently 7:12 Sunday night, and just an update. Life is definitely different without social media. I wouldn't say this is a bad or negative consequence of this little experiment, but I do feel like I'm out of it. I'm just like, I feel like I have a lot more free time and more things I can accomplish, but I'm just like still adjusting to this life without it. So I think I'm gonna go for a drive. It's only 7:14 now. I am currently in the Dillard's empty parking lot because I thought it would be nice to see how empty it really is. It's Sunday night and there are really not many cars in this mall area. It seems so still and there are barely any cars. It's getting dark. I have not driven outside of my neighborhood in a really long time. And so it was really nice, definitely, to just go fast, like 50 miles per hour. I was like, finally! Like, in this craziness, it's just like, it's hard to have a clear and stable mind sometimes. A lot of times for me. So I'm doing whatever I can to just feel like I'm still alive, I'm still here. But then I got a hang of it without social media and got into a routine of getting work done. I also had less distractions, so I was able to be more focused and in the moment, not trying to multitask, like post something on my story like watching a movie, and me simultaneously trying to enjoy the movie. This experience was honestly really refreshing, and I felt like there was less load or burden on me. During the school year, I was never able to delete Facebook because of school announcements and because of FOMO, the fear of missing out, when my friends would tag each other and look at memes. I also felt like I had more time to do things that I've been pushing back, like writing my prayers or thoughts in my journals. Something I've realized is that we don't allow ourselves to feel hurt and to acknowledge our pain a lot. Yes, it's nice to move on and let go, but doing it at the wrong time can make things worse. So, when I went back to Instagram after this 1 week challenge, I saw how toxic it was for me, as I unknowingly kept opening the app back up even though there wasn't an actual reason for me to do so, and I had other tasks to complete. Because of how good and productive I felt during this challenge, I didn't re-download some of the social media apps, and I definitely don't use them much nowadays, as I realized when I've reached my limit of social media usage for the day. A lot of times when we're stressed or want to procrastinate, we try to seek satisfaction from the outside world instead of coming to terms with ourselves, spending time with ourselves. We turn to social media to avoid our feelings and escape reality. But when we ignore our body and mind's needs, this harms us more, even if we may not realize in the moment while we're scrolling down on Instagram. Of course, social media has its positive aspects. It allows us to meet new people and connect with others from our past. Social media is innovative, new, fresh, and fun, but many of us overcompensate. We connect with people we barely knew or know and like their photos, not even turning back to talk to that person personally and actually create a real connection. Nowadays, many people, especially teenagers, turn to social media to escape reality, only harming themselves in turn, including myself. When we have social media apps readily accessible on our devices, we expect a response. For example, when we post something on Instagram, we expect for our followers to like the photo. But if for some reason we receive an insufficient amount or less likes or comments than we expected, we tend to think that people aren't really interested in us, or we may consequently feel lonely and conclude that life is ultimately meaningless, which is totally drastic and radical and untrue. We expect that there will always be someone interested in us. But the thing is, even if we may be interested or thinking about someone, or someone may be thinking about us, social media doesn't portray that equivalently. Social media itself is not a bad or dangerous idea, however, the way we interpret it and how we use it ultimately negatively affects us. In most of everyone's lives, social media has become a fundamental aspect of daily life, especially in our social lives, how people will perceive us or how people do perceive us. Also, when we see someone on social media who seems to be perfect in the way that we want to be, many of us become frustrated with ourselves even more, asking why we can't be like them. This of course does not account for everyone out there, but there are people unhappy with their lives and choose not to seek help or are totally unaware that they need help. That was honestly me before this challenge. We may find ourselves trying to please others even by means of social media, extending that arm of negativity and harm to other parts of our lives. So here's my call to action. If you find yourself constantly on social media and scrolling or pushing back your responsibilities, challenge yourself to maybe a week or even a day without social media or any of those distractions you have in your life, and see where you find yourself after that.